Hi there, Internet Associate. It's Anthony, and I'm watching the first and last episode of The 100, or as I now know it's actually pronounced, The 100. So, this is part 2 where I'm going to watch the series finale. So, if you haven't seen part 1 where I reacted to the pilot, you might want to go check that out. But here we are in part 2, the series finale of The 100, and I honestly try to avoid reading the comments in the part 1 video as much as possible, just because from what I could see when I glanced at it, it was a lot down there about like people wanting me to like react to a different episode, like the season 5 or season 6 finale or something for various reasons. But I just try not to look at any of that because it's like I wanted to go into this with as little knowledge or influence over my perception of what was going to happen as possible. And I watch a lot of TV, so I know how it can go. I know that the first and last episode aren't necessarily going to be the best episodes. I know plenty of shows start off and need to find their footing. And also sometimes they might, as things go on, they get a little bit rocky and it doesn't finish strongly. I'm not saying that's the case here with The 100. I'm just saying that if you feel that way, I get it. But the whole point of this experiment is to watch the first and last episode, for better or worse. So that's what we're going with. Season 7, episode 16, The Last War, the series finale of The 100. So I really have no idea what to expect. Like I said at the end of the last video, I just feel like it's going to be very, very different from whatever was happening in the first episode, because there's so much that can have happened. And there's so much that just has to have happened, given like even in the first episode, there was only like 3 months until the Ark was going to run out of food, I think, or something like, and they were only going to be able to last down there in the state that they were in for so long. So it's like, it's already set up in a situation where things have to be changing and progressing. So no idea what to expect. I just feel like I'm probably about to be more confused than ever right now. But that's the fun part, and maybe I can try to guess exactly what has transpired. I'll be wrong, but it'll be fun. But, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get into this. This is The 100, Season 7, Episode 16, The Last War. All right. Maury? Is that what they say? Yeah, see, I already am extremely lost. Who are these people? Were any of these people in the first episode? Yeah, I'm super lost. Wait, that guy looks familiar, though, I think. Does he? I don't know.
Safe. You have to go after Maddie. Okay, you have to stop Cadigan.
Maddie? Cadigan? Like, what? Who is he? What? Whoa. Dang. They're getting serious with the gunplay. I am confused beyond belief right now. Where is he? Hey, I mean, this is what I wanted, right? This is what I expected. I said I thought I was going to be super confused and lost.
What took you so long? Ours. You will transcend your human form and become infinite. If you fail to earn this evolutionary leap, you will be eliminated. Turn
What?
to
What? Dang, that startled me so much. Is that, what's her name? Because she looks different, if that's her. Clark?
Pencils down.
Okay, am I watching the same show? This is The 100. Okay, season 7. I just wanted to make sure I clicked on the right thing right now, because, gosh, I am magnificently, thoroughly confused right now.
Gaia took the last of the war.
Gaia? Remember how I said that when I heard the premise of this series, it reminded me of a book series I read called Gone. Pretty sure Gaia was also in Gone. I know Gaia is like something that has like comes from some type of specific type of mythology already, right? So it's not like it was an original character in that series. But isn't this based off a book series too? Like, I think I read that somewhere now that I think about it, that this one is also based off a book or a book series or something like that. I'm just having random stray thoughts, trying to latch on to whatever I can at this point. because I have no idea how to even begin guessing what happened to get them from point A to point Z right now.
On our hunt.
I'll go to the river.
What we need is a distraction, not a fight. A way to get a small team past their army to kill Cadigan.
Cadigan. So I'm guessing Cadigan's like the big bad, the villain.
I'm offline. Weapons not responsive.
What?
I've got nothing. None of us do. Long enough for us to die.
We all will die. When is out of our control. This is a good how.
Well, that was a pretty deep line.
Hey! Hey, hold on. I'm Ori.
Ugh.
Ori!
Ooh,
Ori! She's bleeding out. I have to get it.
dang.
Adrenaline.
I don't know who you are, but I mean, I'm sad to see this happening, I guess.
Take out her mind drive. Please. Please, what?
Her mind drive? What is happening on this show?
Put her mind in your head. Know from Clark and Josephine how that ends.
Okay, so definitely that must have been a big thing. Clark and Josephine, like, did they like switch minds or something? That was a very interesting thing to refer back to.
I'll do it myself.
And when did they get mind drives? Was that a technology in the first episode that existed?
Either way.
What's up with all the face markings?
Can kill Maddie. Worse than killed her. Clark went in after him.
Okay, so this is Octavia.
Went in.
How do you
I thought that was Octavia, but I wasn't sure. And they kept on talking about Octavia and Clark, so I thought Octavia's with Clark. But I think that is Octavia now. I think the subtitles just said Octavia. She seems like she looks kind of different. I guess she just looks older now. Or I just forgot what she looked like already.
I'm not her, Clark.
Yeah, that's Clark.
I know.
I mean, she still looks pretty similar to how she looked in the first episode. She just has a different hairstyle. That's why I didn't remember her at first.
He killed my daughter.
She has a daughter now?
But if you are humanity, then I am afraid humanity is not worthy of taking the next step.
Dang. She's just judging her whole species off of her.
The last time I asked you to dance, you stabbed me with a butcher knife.
That's not nice. Yet another thing that I guess happened in the show that I missed from jumping from the first episode to the last episode. Yeah, she's like, right now, I'm not worried at all about for when I actually do watch this show all the way through, because I feel like I have no idea what's going on. So it's not like anything's even really getting spoiled for me anyway. Like, I can still watch this show and completely like have no idea. I don't think I've even been able to really process what's happened in this episode yet, to be honest, just because like I don't know who these people are practically, it seems like.
Much time.
Clark, wait!
Yeah, this one thing I gotta point out, this show seems to have gone like, really into the fantasy side of things, you know what I mean? Like, just from what I'm seeing so far, I think. It seemed like before in the first episode it was mainly sci-fi, but now it's actually starting to be leaning into fantasy too. So I wonder at what point in the series that shift started to happen, and if that was something that was there, practically from the start, and just the first episode wasn't seeing much of, but then maybe in the second episode they started, or if that's something they brought in later down the line. But some of the elements that have happened so far in this episode have felt completely otherworldly, and not just like there's something that like, is a super advanced form of technology in the future or something like that. Is that the Ark? That thing still exists?
No way. Wait, where's Earth?
So they weren't
About
even...
42 billion light years away.
What?
This proves nothing. They will fight Raven, like they always do. You can't possibly know.
Let the games begin.
What? Okay. So yeah, I mean, I'm sorry if my like I guess, reaction or whatever to this has just been terrible so far. Because I guess I haven't really had much of note or interesting to say since I'm so significantly lost in a way. But I am starting to get the gist of, like, the whole judgment thing, and like this judge is that Gaia right there they're talking to, and this idea of, like, I guess, what is enough to be enough. Like, even though she sacrificed herself for all of their souls, or however she put it, she has still, I'm referring to Clark, has still also committed atrocities and whatnot. And because of that, this judge is like, you don't deserve to get in. Humanity doesn't deserve it. And it's one of those, it's kind of like a really philosophical question, like whether, like, you're looking at it from like a religious standpoint, or from whatever you believe in, or anything. It's like, what is enough? You know what I mean? Like, how much good is good enough to outweigh however much bad you may have done? What type of bad is just unforgivable and can't be outweighed by any amount of good? You know what I mean? And it's also very interesting, the idea of not only a system that can be so, like, wishy-washy, like that of, is it good enough, is it not, it all being applied on just one person to to judge an entire human race seems pretty unfair, but I guess for whatever reason, this judge, that's how they see it. They see humans as kind of like maybe a more singular thing, where what one human does, you can expect all other humans to, act similarly or do the same thing. I don't know. Obviously, I'm missing a lot of pieces here, and I'm not really completely following what's happening, but that's my best understanding and interpretation of the situation so far that I can get out. They're kind of, that's kind of the theme that I'm getting so far. And I don't know the context of this war really either, but I definitely imagine there's a lot going on here too, like, in terms of why is humanity at war,
This is not the last war.
Was that the title?
We don't achieve
The Last War.
transcendence through. We're being tested right now.
This was part of the test.
Put down your weapons.
No. Okay, so I get that now. Ah, dang. See, it was kind of like a trick test, a trick question. If y'all just didn't fight, you could have passed the test. What happened to Bellamy? Wasn't that Octavia's brother? Is Bellamy dead? I feel like everybody from the first episode is dead, except for Clark and Octavia at this point. I can't find anybody that I remember. Dang, these people are really at war. Why is she running out into the bullets? Does she have some extra special powers?
What the hell are you doing? I lost Bellamy. I will not lose his sister.
I guess that confirms that Bellamy is dead.
I failed everyone.
It's
Dang.
time for us to go, Raven. The
What are they
enemy
gonna do to
race is here.
prove her wrong? They got to do something like really deep to show her the cycle of violence can be ended or surmounted. There's more than humanity. Blood must have blood. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They all just thought.
To fight for all mankind.
Dang, Octavia has come so far, man. Remember her in the first episode?
The only way to win is not to fight.
Unless the other side just decides to gun you down anyway.
Sir, what are your orders?
Come on. Say stop.
For all mankind.
Yes. There you go. Thank you. Show her. Y'all know how to end that cycle of violence.
I told you, we can change. We just need more time.
Yeah, this reminds me of The Good Place in general. Just like the whole idea and question that's in play here. It reminds me of a lot of the similar themes that go on in The Good Place. It's taking a very different route. of doing it, obviously. And I'm pretty sure this came. Oh well, this actually just came out, didn't it? This last episode. I don't know, just an interesting thing because I recently also watched the last episode of The Good Place because it just came out on Netflix recently, so I finally got to watch it. And a lot of the stuff that it had me thinking about, this has me thinking about too. So, it's an interesting thought. What? That like their life force or something?
No pain.
Or are they transcending? Wow, everybody's transcending now. See, all I had to do was stop fighting. Since, can they both transcend? Are they able to both transcend since they had her mind drive or whatever? That would be awesome. Looks like they're both transcending. Are they combining in their transcendence? Wait, is that her daughter that they were talking about? If so, how?
It's okay.
How much time has passed
I know
since
you don't want to leave.
the first episode? I get the feeling that way more than like 7 years or whatever. So she still doesn't get to transcend because she failed that test? People look like Grammy statues or something. Picasso, is he gonna transcend? Dogs don't transcend? I guess they were talking about humanity, not doganity.
Please come back! I don't want to be alone!
Dang. That's sad.
No. You can never join us, Clark. Your actions must have a cost.
Dang.
Just mine?
Wait, what? Hey, well that's cool. She can't transcend, but they all chose to untranscend. So she's not gonna be alone. Okay, so where do I begin? First of all, I kind of feel like I've been set up here because there were so many requests for the 100 first and last reaction or whatever. And, you know, I have a feeling it's probably because people knew like this series has changed so much. It's impossible to even start to figure out what could have happened. I mean, like I did it with like, you know, with like the Vampire Diaries, the originals, Pretty Little Liars, which definitely were pretty different from, you know, the beginning to end, but there was still somewhat of a common thread there of characters and themes and, you know, stuff that kind of came full circle and things like that, that kind of still made it a complete experience in a way. Obviously with this, it was just super, super far gone, like a totally different thing practically, which, hey, I mean, I still think that's pretty cool. I mean, that's the whole point of why I'm doing this, just seeing how different a show can get. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I feel like this was failed or something. This is actually really cool to me to see that it was that different. And it, like I said, it also makes me feel like I don't have too much to worry about if I ever do watch this show, because I mean, like, so much changed, so much was different that, like, it's still so many questions I would need answered. You know what I mean? I don't really feel like much at all was spoiled for me because them all transcending at the end of the day was the last episode, so I wasn't gonna see them all anymore anyway. You know what I mean? But it's like, so it's like that doesn't necessarily change much for me. But the entire journey of how they get up here, still, I have no idea how this could have possibly gotten to this point. So I would be interested in seeing that for sure. But yeah, man, like I would imagine they were on Earth. They found out that it was inhabitable. You know, the people managed to figure it out. The people that were up on the ark, they came down. Yeah, I have no idea what could have happened from there. Like, how in the world did it go from that to this whatever just happened? Like this whole thing of like them transcending into another whatever dimension of whatever. I don't even know if they're going to another dimension. It's like they're just becoming like a collective consciousness or something. Like, I don't even know if they're going to continue to exist as separate entities or how it even works. I don't really know the background of it, but it's totally different. And I mean, it's like they're kind of like, it seems like this episode was basically the end of the human race, right? Except for these people that decided to stay back on Earth. So, I mean, I guess it's bleak and happy depending on how you want to look at it. I mean, like, I guess it's like kind of just, it's completely up to perspective. I mean, it is kind of sad. It's like, dang, well, that's all of humanity gone because they can't procreate or whatever. So, like, after them, it's done with. But it's like, hey, at least they get a happy, peaceful ending where they get to, live life and enjoy it and not go through whatever they've probably been going through this whole time. Like I talked about a little bit earlier, there was a lot of themes going on here of like, I guess morality or, how much is too much good or how much is too much bad. Like, should there be a cost for your actions? At what point can a cost be kind of waived and can you be forgiven, or at what point do you have to face a cost? I think it's cool that Clark did have to face the cost for murdering Cadigan or whatnot. And if I understand correctly, Cadigan kind of had it coming because he murdered Maddie, who I think is Clark's daughter, right? I hope I got all that right. So he kind of had it coming, but at the same time, it was still a bad thing for Clark to do, I guess. So she failed the test, and there was a consequence for that. So many times on TV shows, we see things where characters can do stuff and end up not really having a consequence for it. So I thought that was nice. And even though she faced that consequence of not being able to transcend, she still got a pretty happy ending by having all those people come back and, her no longer being alone. So seemed like a relatively happy ending. Like, definitely from what I've heard, it's a pretty polarizing ending. I've heard some people really like this ending and some people really do not like it. And even though I haven't seen anything else, just from seeing this, I can kind of see why, it would be so polarizing. Personally, I tend to like things like this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen everything, so I don't know what I really think about it. But I thought this was a cool way to end the show. But, I got to see everything else to really understand the context of what just happened. Because there's so much stuff that I'm missing. There's so many aspects of this that I don't understand. I'm sure there's so many messages and themes and, kind of parallels here that I didn't really catch this time just because, kind of out of the loop because I didn't see the rest of the series. But it was definitely interesting just to see that they've changed so much. I really don't think I knew any of these characters. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but other than Clark and Octavia, was there really anybody in this episode that was in the first one? I think Clark's mom was in there at one point, right? Was that who Clark was talking to? But it wasn't really her mom. It was just in her mom's body, or no, wait, was it? I don't know. And I might be wrong about that. I was confused at that point. I don't know. Clark and Octavia are the only ones I'm sure about. The rest, I don't know. So I'm guessing all those other people died at some point, like Bellamy and Flynn. So it looks like this show is a pretty, it probably had a pretty high kill count as they went. They probably were killing people off, and it was a show that wasn't scared to kill characters. Maybe, I don't know. I just know this was a completely different thing than the first episode. Like I said, it was just sci-fi. Now it seems like it's sci-fi and fantasy. It was just about 100 teenagers on Earth or whatnot. Now it's like all these people, humans, other types of species, apparently aliens or something. Like whatever those things were, whatever the judge was, I don't know. It's all the people that were fighting. Like, a lot of them definitely did not look like teens, and I'm assuming all the people that were teens have gotten old enough to not be teens anymore, and it seems like time has passed because Clark had a child. I think Maddie was her child, and Maddie seemed old enough to, definitely be older than 7 years old, if we're assuming this 1 year equals one season thing. So I'm pretty sure more than 7 years have passed, or maybe only 7 years have passed, but it's been within some type of time portal thing where time moves faster in some place, or maybe it's been less than 7 years. I really have no idea at this point because Clark didn't look like she was way older, so obviously there's been some trickery going on with the time here. I don't know. I have no idea how to explain any of this. I am 100% lost, no pun intended, but in a good way. It was fun, very interesting, and I know even if I did, I don't think I made any type of predictions or any type of guesses onto what happened just now because, like I said, I couldn't figure anything out. But if I did, I'm sure I was completely wrong, so I guess you can feel free to correct me and tell me how dumb I am for reading things the wrong way. Because, yeah, I totally was lost. But still, though, thank you for recommending this. This was definitely very interesting. When I do watch the show, you know, I probably will not remember any of this because it was so much I couldn't even barely process it. So I think I'm good. It was still a cool experiment though. So yeah, I guess that'll be it. Go ahead and comment what you thought about this down below. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. If you want to see the full uncut reaction, you can head on over to Patreon, and that'll be it. I will see you all later.